common questions I'm asked. Is there anything, especially with type 2 diabetes becoming an epidemic in our society, is there anything that you could do naturally to help your blood sugar control, your blood sugar and insulin metabolism? And of course, the answer to that is a resounding yes. The first thing we can all do is manage our weight better. In this country, I think right now we're at about 75% overweight and obese. In some states in America, literally 40% of Americans are obese. And so it's really a huge problem. And as we have watched that problem escalate, we watch issues like type 2 diabetes, issues with blood sugar management, also issues like blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. They're just as epidemic as, unfortunately, as overweight and obesity. So the first thing we could all do is do our very best to manage our weight. And managing our weight is really as simple as just managing what we put in our body. Sounds simple, but actually, as I know, it's not simple at all. But in terms of supplementation, is there anything that you can do that can help to support you and your doctor's efforts at managing your blood sugar? In terms of blood pressure, there's a lot of different supplements that we could say can help support your blood pressure, and whether it's CoQ10 or omega-3s. But when it comes to blood sugar, there are a couple of supplements now that if you asked me this question 5 years ago, I wouldn't have given you the same affirmative answer. But there are a couple of supplements now that I can say with absolute, extremely strong conviction will help support and help promote your efforts at blood sugar balance, blood sugar metabolism, insulin metabolism. Finally, I can answer that question affirmatively, that you have a tool that you could bring to your doctor, that you can engage, that's going to help you in those efforts to keep those numbers in the normal range. The first I'll talk about is cinnamon extract. And cinnamon extract is something that probably go back about 10 or 15 years where I started seeing the inklings of positive research or a positive conversation in that regard among the experts. In the last 5 years, that research has become compelling. And if you look at the reviews on this product, the reviews on this product are equally compelling. In fact, my own personal experience, my blood sugar level is very good. My A1C, which is the most important thing to track, because your blood sugar level is like a snapshot of something in a particular moment. When you look at your blood sugar level, it's generally done fasting. And when your doctor does a blood draw, it'll be done fasting, and you'll see your blood sugar at that moment in time when they drew that blood. And hopefully it's under 100, hopefully it's around 90 or even better. The real number that we want to see is your A1C. That A1C number, that number is really giving you a snapshot of your, not a snapshot, but almost like a videotape. It's letting you know what your blood sugar levels have likely been for the past couple of months. So that is really an insightful number. And that's the number we want to know, and we want to manage down, keep it down into the 5s. That would be great if we could all do that. So that's something we want to pay attention to. I'm sure our doctors are paying attention to, but it's something we need to know as well. Of course, we want to modify our diet to make sure we're consuming less sugars and things like that, which we eat far too much sugar and complex carbs, which simply get converted into sugar in our body as we metabolize them. So we want to pay attention to our diet. But the greatest excitement for me is finally having a couple of natural ingredients that just give you another tool beyond dietary modification, beyond lifestyle modification, beyond all the things you're going to do with your doctor. And our cinnamon extract it's specifically standardized for the type A polymers, the most important components from cinnamon bark extract in terms of balancing and maintaining that healthy blood sugar metabolism, healthy insulin metabolism. I know you'll be thrilled with the product. As I was beginning to say before, even my levels that are good levels, when I experiment and go on and off cinnamon, I watch the cinnamon lowering another approximately 10%, my A1C. So it has a really significant impact on my A1C, roughly 7 to 10%. So that would be a wonderful thing if everyone could experience something like that and bring that tool to the table to work with their doctors, in addition to the dietary and lifestyle modifications as well. Another ingredient I'll mention briefly is berberine. Our cinnamon extract, you take 1 or 2 capsules daily. I just take 1 capsule daily. Take 1 or 2 capsules daily. Our berberine extract, it's a cool product in that it's a bright yellow. Like turmeric, which is bright orange, those were from natural plants, and these natural plants, these natural roots, they were used not just as parts of Ayurvedic medicine in India as traditional medicines and traditional remedies. They're also such a beautiful, bright, rich color. They were used to create the bright, rich colors that you could see in Indian garments, even if you went back 500 or 800 years. So it's a really beautiful berberine, a really beautiful, bright yellow color. But that berberine has been the subject of just incredible research of late in terms of not just its benefits in support of healthy blood sugar metabolism, healthy blood sugar numbers, insulin metabolism, but also lipid numbers. So it could also help us support and promote those numbers in terms of total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, helping to keep those in the normal range as well. That's a product to get the benefits. You'll want to be taking it with each meal. And also, because there's a little potentially, for most people not, but for some people, berberine can be a little bit gastrically irritating. You always want to take it with your largest meals of the day. You want to take it with a meal, not with a snack and not on an empty stomach. So that's 3 capsules daily when used properly. The cinnamon is just 1 or 2 capsules. You can take it anytime. You could even take it away from a meal. You could sprinkle cinnamon on your, as I do at home all the time, Muriel the same. I sprinkle it on my oat bran. She sprinkles it on her oatmeal. When she makes her little espresso in the morning, she sprinkles the cinnamon on there, so you could freely do that. But these are 2 wonderful, natural tools that can make an enormous difference in all of the things we're bringing to bear in terms of our blood sugar metabolism. So there's all sorts of medications out there. Lord knows, I think the blood sugar metabolism, the blood sugar medications have now exceeded the sales of the cholesterol-lowering statin drugs. So there's a wonderful selection of those drugs out there. But to the extent we could do things with our diet, with our lifestyle, with supplementation, that gives us enough tools to maybe reduce or eliminate our dependency on those medications, that would be a wonderful goal for you to achieve with your doctor, and I'm sure your doctor would agree.